if you want princess treatment, you want to be treated better. I don't even want to say princess treatment, right? Because this actually can apply to guys as well. All right, you guys, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, whichever side that I have it on, as well as the bell. So anytime any new content is uploaded, you will be the first to know about it. But without further ado, you guys, we're just going to get right on into this video. Hey, you guys, I wanted to do this video on receiving princess treatment, right? If you want princess treatment, you want to be treated better. I don't even want to say princess treatment, right? Because this actually can apply to guys as well, right? If you want to be treated better by other people, you have to start treating yourself better, right? The moment the standard of the way you treat yourself becomes the same measure for how others treat you, there's no question of like, well, how do I get this person to treat me better? It's none of that, because it's basically about like, I'm not going for this, or I'm not going for that, or I know I deserve better than this, or I deserve better than that. And there's no compromising. So it's like either that person makes a change on their own end, right? Or they just fall off. And then you have to really understand that that's okay. That's okay for this person to fall off. So really, there's no question of like, getting others to treat you better. It's just more so becomes what it is you are willing to accept versus what it is you're not willing to accept, right? And I'll put this in different situations, right? Now, if you're at work, a lot of times that makes it a little bit difficult because, maybe, you do have a boss, or you have coworkers or whatever, right? People that you kind of have to deal with. However, even with the boss, right? This is just an example. Maybe the boss knows that you're someone who can, stay late after work, working on things past burning the midnight oils, working on stuff that maybe they don't typically pass that assignment on to others, but they give it to you and just know like, oh yeah, so-and-so does a great job. I know they'll get it done. And basically like overworking you and not, sharing the work with others. Okay, well, that becomes a point where maybe you do have to kind of like speak up or just kind of start setting boundaries, right? As to what it is you will and won't do and what you have time and don't have time to do. It doesn't mean you don't need your job. I'm not saying that. But typically when people see that it's okay to overstep a certain boundary, it will continuously be overstepped. It will be overstepped until there is no, the boundary, what should have been a boundary is just dust, right? There's no limit, there's no lines, there's no anything. Once you start treating your own self better, right? And if you guys are, interested, you guys can watch. I have a lot of content on this channel all about ways for us to practice more self-love. And it is a journey, right? I don't think that it's really interesting, right? We could read all the books on self-love. We could watch this, watch that, but it's really about being able to put those principles into practice, right? And just little small ways that we treat ourselves, right? When we can, right? Not being so hard on ourselves, even our mind, our inner talk, our inner speak to ourselves. How are we speaking to ourselves, right? Are we speaking to ourselves with love? Are we showing ourselves grace when we make a mistake? Or are we like, oh, I'm so this, I'm so that, I'm so, which we all sometimes could feel that way, but like, how you treat yourself, right? The standard that you have for yourself will soon become the standard that you have for others to treat you. Those will become your boundaries, right? So, like I say, showing yourself more grace, right? Showing yourself more self-love, right? Are you taking time to do the little small things, right? For women, for us, it might be just, taking that relaxing bath and listening to music or something that just kind of relaxes us, aromatherapy, or, just a facial mask, getting our nails done, some way to pamper ourselves. For guys, maybe for guys, it's just taking that little bit of time to manscape, right? Whether you could take a nice long bath as well, or just whatever ways that you guys could groom yourselves, taking a little bit of time to do that, right? Valuing yourself a little bit more. And the more and more that you value yourself, the more that you treat your own self better. And really, and not just on a superficial level, right? Because there's different ways that we could do as well. Like I say, starting with the inner talk. How do we speak to our own selves, right? Are we really hard on ourselves the way that sometimes we talk to our own selves in our own mind, right? Maybe way harsher than we would ever speak out loud to other people, right? When they make a mistake, or, will we come down that hard verbally on people, or will we be like, man, and, or will we say how, they're this, that, and the third? Like, we have to be kinder to ourselves. As we practice it, as we work on being a little bit kinder to ourselves, right? Taking a minute to pamper ourselves in little small ways, right? Because sometimes we don't have a lot of time, or you may not even have a lot of funds to do a whole lot of pampering, but in small ways. How can you treat yourself better? And the more and more and more you do that, the harder it will become to allow other people not to treat you with the same standard that you have grown accustomed to treating yourself with. Okay. So when you're, speaking to your own self kindly and showing your own self grace, and then you're around people that are not speaking as kindly to you, are not as patient with you, not as, then you will have less of you will choose to surround yourself less and less with those types of people. Okay. So I really think that it should be flipped, and it's not so much about getting others to change how they treat us. Is more so about us changing how we treat ourselves, which automatically will mirror how we allow others to treat us, right? So, a lot of us, we could get into, I'm just using this as an example, right? We could get into toxic relationships, romances. We could get into toxic friendships, right? Whatever, toxic, whatever. Okay. You guys get what I'm saying. But the moment that we, like I say, really hone in, focus in on ourselves and treat our own selves better and better and better, day by day, week by week, month by month, year by year, it will become harder and harder for you to be around other people that are not treating you at that same level. Okay, that are not showing you as much grace, speaking to you as kindly. You will have less of a, what's the word? I want to say you yourself will have less patience. You'll have less wiggle room to allow those type of people in your bubble. You'll have less patience yourself, right? To allow those types of people, those types of characters into your own bubble. Okay. So really, if you really want to know, and I could probably expound on this and make this a longer video, but it really boils down to how we treat ourselves, right? And if you want princess treatment from other people, you want other people to treat you better, you want princess treatment from other people, you have to treat yourself like a princess. Okay, you have to treat yourself like a prince, like a king. If you want others to treat you that way, okay, or a queen, However, whatever gender really doesn't matter, but it's really about and the more you do that, the easier it will become to set boundaries, because you'll say, wait, hold on. How did they just talk to me? How are they treating me? You're like, wait, what? That's when you'll have more and more of those moments, and you'll be less tolerant. You have less tolerance. I think that was the word I was trying to think of earlier, but you'll have less tolerance for people that are not treating you as kindly, as well as you treat yourself. Okay. And that's just it. That's the end of it. It doesn't mean that you're going to just overnight give yourself princess treatment or prince or king treatment. But as we incorporate different habits, right, as we continue to work to manifest our higher selves, right, from the inside out, work on our internal glow up, and that kind of eventually will exude outward. People will have no choice but to either treat you how it is that you desire to be treated, or fall off. And you're going to wind up loving yourself so much that even though you may hate in a sense that maybe so-and-so is not, you're going to appreciate and value your own peace and treatment, positive treatment, that you're just not going to go for that will no longer resonate with you. That vibe, that level of going back, and that will no longer resonate. It just won't, because you'll be vibing at a different frequency. You're just going to feel better about yourself, where you'll feel like a princess, you'll feel like a prince, you'll feel like just anybody of value. And we're all valuable. Each and every last one of us are. So when I say prince or princess, it doesn't mean like you are more valuable over the next person, but it just means that you are valuing yourself to the point where you're not going to allow yourself to be dragged through the mud or treated poorly by people just to be in their company, just to be around them, just so you're not by yourself. And that just won't work. Okay, so you guys, I hope you guys found this video to be helpful, useful. If you did, give it a big old thumbs up, you guys. If you are already subscribed, that is what's up. If you're not, do hit the subscribe button and become a member of the community, you guys. Like I say, we're out here growing. Okay, this is a community, and we're also here to support each other. So like I always say, your comment could actually be very helpful to the next person that comes along and reads it. Okay, so leave lots of comments down below. All right, you guys, but I will see you guys on the next video. Bye.